Hey guys, Cornerstone preliminary analysis. Her kit has been revealed, so let us look into her kit. She is a Riposte unit, so we will be getting a Riposte team. Currently, we have Cornerstone, we have Jay. Babel should be considered also, but not sure if she's really useful right now. And perhaps we will be getting another 1, 2, or maybe 3 more Riposte character moving forward. So first of all, her insight: when Cornerstone is in battle, all allies receive feasibility analysis, and Cornerstone receives trial and error log. Decrease Cornerstone max Moxie as well as Moxie needed to ult. Now we'll look at feasibility analysis. It decreases damage taken when being attacked. The amount decreased will be stored as trial and error log. So what does it mean by this is that, let's say enemy does 10,000, but due to the damage reduction, you only take 8,000 for example. So that 2,000 will be stored as trial and error log. Okay, so more damage reduction. So now we don't need to complain anymore whether Jay can sustain in this team or not. Definitely he will be able to, especially with Cornerstone giving even more damage reduction. As for max Moxie reduction, I think it should reduce it to 4 instead of 5. If it's going to reduce any more like 3, then she will be very AP friendly. I think they might do it, but that is like P1 or P2. Okay, that her max Moxie will reduce down to 3. For Insight 1, when an ally does a follow-up attack, Cornerstone gives self-creation iteration. If the follow-up attack is a riposte, Cornerstone gives more stack of creation iteration. After gaining a few stack of creation iteration, Cornerstone gives self-design upgrade. Design upgrade is for her ultimate. I will explain about it later. So what is trial and error log? When other ally releases a riposte, do extra relative damage. Based on trial and error log, increase the extra damage. So you can assume it is something like Jay's burn, where you accumulate it up to a higher number and the whole team will do more damage. However, the problem is that trial and error log get consumed every round. So you kind of have this like at the start of enemy turn, the enemy attack us, we do a riposte. The damage will increase slightly, and then the more the enemy attack, the damage will be even higher, and at the end of the round, Cornerstone will do a mass riposte attack and then consume all trial and error log. Then after that, it will repeat back the cycle. Creation iteration is just for herself, and it increases riposte damage and incantation might. As of Insight 3, self-ultimate does not count towards spell dot maximum. That is because the spell dot usually the card will be filled up and then only it goes to the enemy's turn. And during the enemy's turn, she will get Moxie from her own riposte. And if she doesn't have this function, she cannot generate the ultimate after she get that Moxie. So it will be kind of a waste. So I guess that's why they have this mechanics where her ultimate doesn't consume a spot in the spell dock. It seems that all characters are getting this except the ultimate characters, which they really need it. Okay, when entering battle, increase self Moxie. I believe this Moxie is 1, so I explain it when I'm talking about her rotation. Overflowing Moxie will be stored, and mainly this is because of her doing a riposte and giving herself +1 Moxie. As for her skill 1, practical construction is a single relative damage. If in debriefing, deal extra relative damage and increase critical damage for this attack. This count as a riposte. I felt like this is just to complete her rotation. There is no buff associated with this, so you don't necessarily need to use it unless it deals super a lot of damage. Okay, but you still need to do it to get Moxie. As to figure and ground, self counter is the counter incantation. So enter debriefing and give self-creation iteration. Debriefing at the end of the enemy's turn, Cornerstone will release debriefing feedback to attack. This attack is considered a riposte. It's a mass relative damage to all enemies, gives self-design upgrade, and increase self-moxie. It will consume trial and error log, and based on the amount emptied, deal additional relative damage. So this is count as 1 riposte. Okay, so I do believe that this is the only buff that you actually have to try to maintain every round. Okay? Yeah, because if you don't have it, she won't do the mass attack. And here, debriefing feedback consume trial and error log, which is why I say that you can't keep the value in trial and error log. But I'm just wondering if she don't do a follow-up attack, like you don't enter debriefing, and then you just use her more of a support, and then you keep accumulating trial and error to the maximum, and then you just leave her there, then all the other characters' Riposte will do more damage. But again, now that is only for Jay and Babbles, and it's more like they are supporting her rather than she is supporting them. Okay, so I think you don't necessarily want to do that, but it's still a possibility, something interesting to try out. Right, so as mentioned just now, it started off low, and as enemy attacks, it increases, Riposte damage increases, and at the end, it is consumed. For her ultimate, the future start here is also a self counter, and it entered delivery. So I felt like when you are in delivery, debriefing, you don't really need it at all, which is why when you are doing delivery feedback, which is the mass attack or the riposte that she will do instead of the debriefing feedback. So you can take it like that is a weaker version. Delivery feedback should be the stronger version, but it will be like a waste if you get this status and then one of the debriefing stacks or the number of round, right, will just be wasted because she's not going to do the normal riposte at all. So this is why this attack delivery feedback extends the duration of debriefing by 1, so that it is not like a waste. And when she is in delivery status, increased damage reduction effect. So the higher your damage reduction effect, the more damage is going to be absorbed by trial and error. So it directly increases the overall damage of riposte that this character in this team will do. Okay, and delivery feedback make use of design upgrade. If you have enough design upgrade stacks, then this attack will deal relative damage, ultimate might, and penetration. Since it has ultimate might, then this attack is considered as an ultimate. For her rotation, assuming debriefing lasts for 2 rounds, right? So start with +1 Moxie, S2, S1, riposte at the end, +1 Moxie, ultimate. Now you have 4 Moxies, so you can use your ultimate by round 2, and then you use S1, and then you do a riposte. There's 2 Moxie in round 2. In round 3, you attack again, another Moxie, and then you riposte again, another Moxie. So there is 4 Moxie. Now in round 4, you get your out. So when you out, you goes into delivery. Okay. Technically, you don't need to cast S2 here, so I'm not too sure. I need to test this out. But if you cast it, then it will still be the number of round will be extended to 3. So I guess it is not a waste. So definitely you can do that. Then you use 1 incantation, 1 Moxie, you do a riposte, another Moxie. Then in the next round, incantation, 1 Moxie, riposte, another Moxie, then you get back your ultimate. So she needs about 3 AP per 2 rounds, which is actually pretty good. Okay? For her teammate, first of all, currently definitely it's Jay. Jay will be the main one. And then there is also Babel, but I do not know if you want to use Babel. Her attack are all riposte, so it's technically a follow-up attack. So Flutter Page should work. And what we know also is that this team lack critical, so you want to bring a character that has crit. So here I recommend Lopera. Okay, but there's one more thing regarding if Flutter Page will work or not, and that is because overall in Cornerstone's kit, there is things that keep saying that, if you do this, you get additional relative damage, you do this, you get extra damage. So not sure if this is like the yellow number that will appear, like Flutter Page, if you do something, then you get the additional yellow number. And this yellow number may not be affected by Flutter Page's buff. If that's the case, and that number is a really high number, then Flutter Page may not be the teammate for this team. Obviously, there will be other riposte character coming in, but if that's the case, another character that you can consider using as well is Melania. So Melania will make this team more like an out team. because Cornerstone's the riposte from her ultimate delivery feedback is or supposed to be considered as an ultimate, right? And we know that Jay's ultimate deals a lot of damage now, so definitely you can run a ult team for Jay and Cornerstone. Okay, so that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching and have a good day.